Welcome back to the 1% Protocol. Today we are breaking down the viral trend that has over 200 million views.
And implies you can completely rewrite your existence in a single day.
Right. The claim is that you can fix your entire life in 24 hours. Now, I have to be honest with you and with our listeners, I am incredibly skeptical about this. I spent my entire weekend trying to fix a leaky faucet. It took me 2 days, 3 trips to the hardware store, and I still had to call a plumber.
Been there.
So this idea that you can fix a whole human life, career, health, psychology in a single Saturday, it reeks of snake oil.
It does sound ridiculous on the surface. If you view fixing your life as, achieving all your goals, then yeah, it's impossible.
You're not going to become a billionaire?
Or look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in 24 hours, right? But the research data we're looking at today, this convergence from Dan Koh, Jordan Rafiloff, the more extreme Relent X stuff.
Yeah.
It isn't suggesting you do the work in a day. It's suggesting you change the mechanism that does the work.
Okay, distinguish that for me. What's the difference?
Think about it like a computer. If your operating system is, say, Windows 95, and you're trying to run modern video editing software, what happens?
It crashes.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Right. It doesn't matter if you type faster or press the keys harder. The system itself is it's incompatible with the task.
Okay.
This 24-hour protocol is arguing that most of us are trying to run $1 million life on an operating system that was installed when we were 7.
A system reset.
It's a factory reset. And the reason this has 200 million views is because people are realizing the traditional advice, the stuff we've all heard, it's broken.
You mean the just work harder advice? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps?
Be more disciplined. The research suggests that advice is actually dangerous.
Dangerous.
It sets people up for failure. It's like trying to build a skyscraper on a swamp. You can build as fast as you want, but the foundation is rotting.
Okay, hold on. I have to push back there.
Yeah.
Discipline can't be a rotting foundation. I mean, look at any Olympian, any CEO. They're incredibly disciplined people.
That's the optical illusion, though. We look at a bodybuilder, the data uses this Chad bodybuilder archetype, right?
Right.
And we see him eating plain chicken and broccoli for the 500th day in a row, and we think, wow, the willpower that must take.
I'm thinking that. I'd be dreaming of pizza by day 2.
But that's the mistake. We assume he's fighting this huge battle against his own desires, but the data shows that's not what's happening.
So what is happening?
To that bodybuilder, eating a greasy pizza would feel wrong. It would feel gross. It clashes with his concept of self. He doesn't eat the chicken because he has more discipline points. He eats it because it aligns with his identity.
So he's not forcing himself?
Not at all. Behavior follows identity. If you have to force yourself to go to the gym, you will eventually lose. Willpower is a battery, it drains. But if your identity is, I am an athlete, then skipping the gym feels weird.
It feels uncomfortable.
Exactly. You cannot achieve a goal if your core identity contradicts it.
Okay, that makes logical sense. But let's play devil's advocate. Let's say I want to be that athlete. I genuinely want it. And then an hour later, I'm scrolling social media or reorganizing my sock drawer. Why do I sabotage myself? Am I just lazy?
See, this is where the research gets really fascinating. And the short answer is, no, you are not lazy. In fact, you are incredibly successful.
Successful at wasting time? That's not a trophy I want.
You're successful at achieving your hidden goal. This is a concept from Adlerian psychology. It argues that all behavior has a purpose, even the procrastination.
That sounds like an excuse. How is scrolling on my phone serving a purpose? I feel guilty the whole time.
The guilt is the price you pay for safety. If you say, I'm going to write a novel, and you actually try to write it, you face a terrifying risk.
What if it's bad? What if I fail?
What if people laugh at you? So your brain, your old operating system, it calculates a solution. If I procrastinate, I can't fail. I can always say, I could have written a great book if I just had the time.
You get to keep the dream alive without ever risking it.
You achieve the hidden goal, which is protect the ego, and you're achieving it perfectly.
That is twisted. My brain is actively working against my ambition just to keep me safe.
It's not twisted, it's biological. It's that toddler software we talked about. Between ages 0 and 7, you downloaded a worldview. Don't take risks. Don't stand out.
Be a good boy.
Exactly. That software was designed for survival in childhood. But you're an adult trying to thrive, and you're still running a survival program.
Windows 95 trying to run 4K video.
And crashing every time. That's why you need the protocol. You need to uninstall the toddler software.
All right, you sold me on the problem. I'm running a buggy OS. So let's talk about the fix. I've carved out a Saturday. What do I actually do?
Step 1 is the morning excavation. And I have to warn you, this isn't the, visualized success stuff you see on Instagram. This is designed to hurt.
So we start with the negative.
We have to. The human brain is wired for loss aversion. We will run much faster to escape a tiger than we will to catch a rabbit.
Makes sense.
So you sit down, pen and paper, no screens, and you answer a very specific question. What dull, persistent dissatisfaction have you learned to live with?
Dull, persistent dissatisfaction. That's a great phrase. It's not a crisis.
No, it's the slow leak. It's hating your commute. It's the fact that your back hurts every morning. It's the background radiation of misery you've just normalized.
You drag it into the light.
And then you amplify it. You do the 5-year projection. You write down, if nothing changes, what does an average Tuesday look like in 5 years?
An average Tuesday, not the highlight reel.
The mundane reality. Where do you wake up? How does your body feel? Are you heavier? Slower? And the most brutal question in the whole protocol.
What's that?
What truth about your life would be unbearable to admit to someone you respect?
Man, that is heavy. That's not a fun Saturday morning.
It's not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to terrify the part of you that craves safety. You have to make the pain of staying the same greater than the pain of changing.
And only after that.
Then you write the vision. You script the ideal Tuesday 3 years from now. And you seal it with an identity statement.
Right.
Instead of writing, I want to get in shape, you write, I am the type of person who prioritizes movement over comfort. Present tense. You define the character you're now playing.
I like that shift from want to am. But here's the problem. Paper is patient. I can write, I am the king of France on a notepad. But then Monday comes, the boss yells, I'm tired. How does scribbling on a notepad survive real life?
That is the critical failure point. And that's why the next part of protocol is about pattern interrupts.
Traps for yourselves?
Exactly. You're sleepwalking through 95% of your day, so you need to set traps. Alarms on your phone, not to wake you up from sleep, but to wake you up from the trance.
Okay, like what?
The protocol suggests an alarm at 11:00 a.m. that asks, what am I avoiding right now?
That's annoying.
It's necessary.
Well,
Then maybe 1:30 p.m. If a camera crew was filming me right now, what would they conclude I want out of life?
wow. If a camera crew filmed me at 1:30, they'd think my life's mission is to find the perfect GIF for the group chat.
Right, and that creates cognitive dissonance. It forces you to see the gap between who you say you are and who you're actually being. It snaps you out of the drift.
Okay, so alarms keep you honest. But looking at the research here, there's this other version, the Relent X source. It's labeled the do or die version.
Yes. This is for people who feel like they are completely drowning. This is where the gentle approach isn't enough.
So what does that look like?
A full dopamine detox for the 24 hours.
Define that for me.
No phone, no computer, no internet, no movies, and no music.
No music, just silence.
Absolute silence.
Yeah.
For 24 hours.
I don't think people realize how loud silence actually is.
That's the entire point. We use podcasts, music, TikTok to drown out our own thoughts. Relenix argues you're not broken, you're just overstimulated.
You can't hear yourself think.
Exactly. So you cut the noise, and in that silence, you do the mirror ritual.
This sounds like a horror movie.
You stand in front of a mirror, look into your own eyes, and you stare for 5 straight minutes.
5 minutes is an eternity.
It is. Most people can't do it. They look away, they giggle, but if you hold it, the mask slips. And you ask, who am I pretending to be?
I feel like that would end in tears for a lot of people.
It almost always does. It breaks the ego, it strips away the performance, and after that, after the destroy to rebuild phase, where you literally burn the paper with your lies on it, you end with the warrior hour.
The physical reset?
20 minutes of high-intensity sweat, 20 minutes of chaotic journaling, and 20 minutes of just silence. It's like defibrillating your soul.
It sounds effective, but also like something you can't do every day.
Which brings us back to sustainability. How do you turn this shock therapy into an actual life?
This is where we pivot to strategy, and the research brings in Dan Koh's concept of gamification.
Okay.
He argues life feels hard because it's poorly structured. Why can a kid play a video game for 12 hours straight but can't do homework for 20 minutes? Because games are designed to be addictive. Points, levels, rewards.
Exactly. Clear stakes, visible progress, win conditions. So the protocol asks you to build a game engine for your life.
Okay, make this concrete for me. Let's take a hypothetical guy, Steve. He's an accountant, he's 40, wants to write a novel, never does. How does Steve gamify this?
Okay, let's build Steve's game. First, the anti-vision. That's the game over screen. For Steve, game over is turning 50, same cubicle. The novel is a dusty file, and he's bitter.
Okay, stakes are set. He knows what losing looks like.
Next, the vision, the win condition. He's a published author holding his book. Simple. Then, the main quest. This is where people mess up. Steve tries to get fit, learn Spanish, and write the book.
All at once.
The game says no. One main quest for the year, complete the draft.
Just one thing. That's hard for overachievers.
But it's necessary. Then you have the boss fight. That's the monthly mission. For February, Steve's boss fight is write chapters 1 through 3. It's tangible. You can win or lose.
So he's fighting the chapter 1 to 3 boss. How does he attack it?
With daily levers. The grinding quests. Write 500 words before coffee. It's boring, repetitive, but it compounds. But here's the most important part that Steve is missing. Constraints.
The rules of the game.
Exactly. In a game, you can't walk through walls. Steve tries to write with his phone next to him, email open, TV on. He has no boundaries. A constraint would be no internet before 9 a.m.
Phone stays in the kitchen.
He builds a force field around his focus. By defining the rules, the win condition, and the penalty for losing, Steve stops trying to write and starts playing the game of being a writer. It shifts the whole psychology.
I love that. It takes the emotion out of it. You're just executing the mechanics of the game. Now let's zoom out. We've talked identity, gamification, but the research mentions intelligence in a way I found really counterintuitive because you assume smart people are just better at this. High IQ, you should be able to fix your life faster.
You would think so. But the research quotes Naval Ravikant here, and he says, the only real test of intelligence is if you get what you want out of life.
That is a brutal definition. So if you're a genius with a 150 IQ, but you're miserable and broke, you're failing the test.
Correct. The analysis uses a concept from cybernetics. The word comes from the Greek for steersman, the person steering the ship. Your brain is a goal-seeking mechanism. It's like a heat-seeking missile.
Okay, so we're all missiles.
We're all missiles with engines. Intelligence isn't how big your engine is, your IQ, it's how well you can steer. It's navigation.
And if you don't program a clear target?
The missile just spins in circles, or worse, it defaults to the factor setting.
Which is safety.
Safety and comfort. So you have a high IQ missile using all its computing power to find the most comfortable spot on the couch. That's not a lack of ability, it's a navigation error.
You have to punch in the coordinates.
You are the programmer.
So we've laid this all out. We have the morning excavation, the pattern interrupts, the dopamine detox, the gamification.
Yeah.
But the research ends on this concept called stage theory. It feels like the final piece.
Yes. This is crucial for understanding why this is also hard for people.
Walk us through it.
The theory suggests that egos develop in stages. Most of society, and we're talking maybe 80%, stops at the conformist stage.
The rule followers.
Right. I do what I'm told. I seek approval. Their identity is defined by external validation. A conformist can't fix their life because they're waiting for permission to change.
Waiting for someone else to give them the script.
Exactly. To use this protocol, you have to move to the self-aware stage. That's where you realize, wait a minute, I'm running toddler software, I'm sabotaging myself. That's the painful part.
The mirror ritual.
Yes. But that's not the end. The goal is to become the strategist. The strategist looks at their own personality, their habits, their life, not as me, but as a system.
They can look at it objectively.
And say, this habit isn't efficient, delete. This belief is outdated, update. They don't take it personally, they wear their identity like a loose garment. If being a shy introvert doesn't serve their goals, they just drop it.
They rewrite the character.
Elon Musk, for better or worse, operates like a strategist. He doesn't ask, is this allowed? He asks, is this possible according to physics? And builds from there.
So the ultimate goal of this 24-hour protocol isn't just to get more done. It's to evolve, to move from a player following the rules to a developer who writes them.
That is the mission. To stop being a victim of your programming and start being the architect of it.
Well, that's quite a challenge to leave our listeners with. You have a choice. You can keep running Windows 95 and wondering why life is glitching, or you can shut the whole thing down for 24 hours and install something new.
The clock is ticking.